Okay, so once again, good day everyone. No? So today our topic is resilient urban governance and the smart cities. No? Resilient urban governance is about creating cities that can adapt to challenges. No? Whether they come from natural disasters, economic shocks, or public health crisis. No? It means preparing communities to not just survive disruption but to bounce back stronger, no, let's say for instance, no, during typhoon Yolanda in the Philippines, no, cities like Tacloban face unimaginable loss. But with stronger governance after the disaster, improved evacuation systems, early warning technologies, and community-driven planning, many areas rebuilt more sustainably. No? Resilience start with leadership that listen and system that include the most vulnerables. No? Smart cities, on the other hand, use digital technology to improve the quality of life for residents. No? These cities no collect and analyze data to manage traffic, reduce energy use, prevent crime, or possibly streamline government services. In Metro Manila, let's say for example, no, traffic management system with CCTV and real-time traffic updates help our commuters plan better and avoid congestion. No, in Davao, no, surveillance and emergency response center use integrated technologies to ensure public safety. Smart cities aren't just about gadgets. No, they are about making everyday life easier and safer through innovation. And to give us more details about the topic, let us all welcome our presenter this afternoon. This morning. Go ahead, ma'am.
Hello, Doc. Good morning po. Narinig po ako, Doc.
Go ahead. Yes, ma'am.
Okay po. So, good day, Dean and classmates. Ma'am Marie Tagal and I, Meryl Adap, will tackle Chapter 15, Resilient Urban Governance and Smart Cities. So, today, cities are dealing with rapid growth, climate risks, as mentioned earlier by our Dean, and to tackle these challenges, smart planning and stronger policies, making urban life more sustainable, efficient, and enjoyable. So resilient cities are built to bounce back from calamities, financial downturns, or health emergencies. So we do this by staying flexible, planning with everyone in mind, and working across sectors. When combined, resilient urban governance and smart cities don't just upgrade the services. So they recreate how communities can thrive, blending cutting edge tools and forward thinking to create a better community. So resilient urban governance refers to the city's ability to anticipate, absorb, recover from, and adapt to shocks and stresses such as climate disasters, pandemics, and economic crisis. One key strategy in resilient urban governance is using multi-level governance systems. So these frameworks promote collaboration across different levels of the government, NGOs, community groups, and businesses. By creating channels for communication and joint decision making, they help tackle complex challenges that require shared effort and responsibility from all stakeholders. Next of course we have um resilience. So furthermore, participative methods to urban planning and decision making are stressed by having a resilient urban government. So this means systematically identifying risks from natural disasters, economic crisis, and creating concrete plans to defend communities against these challenges. Another concept is sustainable urban development, the art of balancing economic growth, environmental protection, and social equity. So, which means creating policies that protect our environment through energy efficiency and ecosystem preservation. It also involves building communities where development benefits everyone equally. So it's about growing smarter, not just bigger, ensuring that progress does not come at the cost of the people or the environment. Um, Cutting edge urban solutions now make use of technology to tackle challenges by using tools such as artificial intelligence, data analytics, and digital platforms. So, with this, the cities can streamline operations through smarter resource management, boost civic engagement with interactive decision making tools, and enhance services via real time monitoring systems. So we also need to promote an innovative and experimental culture in cities where new concepts, methods, and solutions are welcomed, promoted, and rewarded. To co-create and co-implement creative solutions to urban issues, the government, industry, and civil society must collaborate in order to foster an atmosphere that is conducive to innovation. So again, we have social justice. So this was mentioned earlier. So this means implementing policies and programs that ensure equal access to essentials, for example, to affordable housing, quality schools, easy access to healthcare, job opportunities, and community services for everyone, and make sure that no one is left behind. So in line with my previous slide, truly resilient and sustainable cities don't just grow. They grow for everyone. And as you all can see, that the phrase "no one is left behind" is reiterated. So this means economic growth for everyone by fostering local entrepreneurship, innovation, and quality job opportunities. It also means investing in the people through uh, skills training and for more job opportunities. And for backing and green industries that may under that we have climate change adaptation and mitigation measures process plan and development. From threats, addressing the addressing heat, we have the areas strategy. Next, reducing emissions, implementing policies to cut carbon, build. Hello, Doc.
Mariel, tapos ka na
He-
po.
Um, hello
Kuha na ako
po.
kanina.
Um, may I proceed na po?
Okay.
So, another concept is climate change adaptation and mitigation measures into the processes of urban planning and development. So, this means confronting climate threats such as heat waves, flood prone areas, and rising seas through data driven strategies. Reducing emissions or implementing policies to cut carbon from buildings, transport, and energy systems, and protecting people and nature, prioritizing vulnerable communities and ecosystems in all resilient efforts. So, building cities for people, not cars, is essential for sustainability and resilience. So, this means creating walkable, mixed use neighborhoods where homes, shops, and establishments exist side by side to reduce sprawl and car dependency. Investing in people first infrastructure, protected bike lanes, having pedestrian zones and greenways that make active travel safe and enjoyable. We also should prioritize mass transit by expanding affordable, reliable public transport to connect all communities. So healthy cities need healthy ecosystems. So urban planning prioritizes nature by expanding green spaces, creating parks, urban forests, and wildlife corridors to clean our air and water, reviving or regenerating damaged ecosystems by restoring wetlands, streams, and native habitats to boost biodiversity, and growing green infrastructure by supporting urban farms, green roofs, and tree-lined streets, cool neighborhoods, and fight climate change. Strong communities are the foundation of thriving cities. So to build true urban resilience and sustainability, we need policies that foster real connections by creating neighborhood networks where residents support each other, invest in social hubs by funding community centers and cultural spaces that bring people together, and nurture belonging by designing programs and public spaces where diverse residents can connect and collaborate. Because when the people feel rooted in their communities, the cities become more adaptable to challenges, and um, the city becomes more uh, this th- I'm sorry, the city thrives more. So these approaches provide integrated solutions to the complex, interconnected challenges facing modern cities by embedding the four principles: resilience, sustainability, equity, and innovation into urban systems. The cities would be able to withstand shocks from climate disasters to economic crisis, eliminate systemic disadvantages through inclusive design, unlock green economic opportunities, and improve quality of life for all residents. So, what do we need? We need a visionary leadership, leaders who champion long term transformative visions for the cities, boundary breaking partnerships with sectors working together in unprecedented ways, equity in action, or justice centered implementation by prioritizing marginalized communities in all planning and investments, and an agile governance, adaptive STEMs or systems that learn and evolve with real time data and feedback. So, why does this matter? These pillars work together to create cities that aren't just prepared for challenges, but it will actively shape a better future for all of us. Thank you for listening. So next we have Miss Marie Tagal for the next part of our report.
Thank you, Doc. I'll share my slides. Visible naman na po yung slide.
Yes, ma'am.
So, good morning, Doc, Abante, and classmates. So, I'll be discussing on the exciting world of smart cities and how innovative urban planning and resilient infrastructure are shaping the future of our urban spaces. We'll explore how technology, sustainability, and thoughtful design come together to create cities that work better for all of us. So what exactly is a smart city? Imagine a city that uses digital technology and data to manage everything from traffic to energy use, making life smoother and more efficient. A smart city is an urban area that uses digital technologies, especially information and communication technologies or ICT, to enhance the quality of life for its residents, improve the efficiency of urban services, and promote sustainable development. So, what are the key features of a smart city? Smart infrastructure. So integration of sensors, Internet of Things devices, and data analytics in utilities like water, electricity, and transportation. We also have citizen engagement, digital platforms that allow residents to participate in governance and access public information. Sustainability, emphasis on reducing carbon emissions, using renewable energy, and creating green spaces, as what was mentioned by Doc Adap. Data-driven decision making, collection and analysis of real-time data to guide policy and operational improvements. And then we have urban planning strategies for sustainable growth. Urban planning is the blueprint for how cities grow. Good planning balances different needs like housing, transportation, and green spaces to create neighborhoods that are walkable, vibrant, and sustainable. It's about thinking ahead to build cities that are livable for everyone. Infrastructure resilience, why it matters. Infrastructure resilience means building cities that can withstand shocks like storms, floods, or cyber attacks and bounce back quickly. This involves smart investments in things like flood defenses, renewable energy, and backup systems to keep essential services running no matter what. So yes, I've included here bollards, because of the recent unfortunate event nga, alam nyo na. So bollards can be considered part of a resilient infrastructure. Okay, so Japan is renowned for its earthquake resilient infrastructure. Alam niyo naman yon. And sino bang nakapunta na sa Japan? So this is the famous Tokyo Sky Tree. Um, it's indeed the tallest structure in Japan and also making it the world's tallest tower. So very significant ito as an example for resilient structure. Sa central pillar, may central pillar yung itong sky tree, which or a column which acts as a counterweight during seismic activity. So during earthquakes or mga ground shaking, the tower and the central column vibrate at different frequencies, reducing the overall sway through a technique called tuned mass damping or yung tinatawag na TMD sa mga engineers. Ang example or picture nito is yung two figures sa lower left, yung parang bilog dyan. So these are included sa mga buildings and structures and also sa mga bridges. Meron din siya sa Taipei 101 if you've been there. And most of the bridges sa Europe. And of course, adding the flexible steel frame ng mga structure, mas titibay pa siya. And also on the lower left, lower right, meron tayong mga, di ba sa Japan, mga structure sa Japan or mga houses na rin, may mga parang rollers sa base. Ang tawag dyan ay base isolators or seismic isolators. Na kapag may mga ground shaking or movement, parang nagsasway lang yung mga structures. Okay. Of course, so meron din tayo sa Philippines. In the road sector, the Philippines has adopted materials like geofoam, geotechnical material, and coconut coir-based products such as geotextile nets to enhance the durability and resilience of roads against climate impacts. So, yung geofoam siya, so yan yung nasa left, and ginagamit na siya sa ongoing MRT project natin, yung MRT 7. It's a lightweight material made from polystyrene, expanded polystyrene or EPS. So due to its lightweight nature, ginagamit siya sa mga pag-construct ng mga bridges and roads, gaya nga ng sabi ko, to reduce the load sa underlying soils, especially pag malambot yung soil at minsan di stable yung ground. So isa ito sa mga ginagamit ng ating mga geotechnical engineers. And sa right picture naman, yung mga core products. These are made from outer part of mga coconut husks. So coconut coir is widely used in geotextile um, to prevent soil erosion or on road embankments and slopes, mga landslides. So ginagamit din yan. Okay, so these three ideas for smart technology, which includes smart technology, thoughtful urban planning, and resilient infrastructure, aren't separate. Okay, they complement each other to create cities that are efficient, sustainable, and ready for the future. Together, they help cities serve their residents better and adapt to change. While smart cities offer huge potential, they also bring challenges. Privacy concerns, unequal access to technology, and the complexity of managing all its data are real issues. So it's crucial to address these so that smart city benefits reach everyone fairly. Inclusion must be central to smart city design, ensuring all citizens benefit regardless of income, ability, or access to digital tools. Case study, take Copenhagen in Denmark, for example. The city is a global leader in adapting to climate change by combining seawalls and green infrastructure like rain gardens. So their approach shows how blending natural and engineered solutions can protect cities from flooding while enhancing urban life. So Medellin in Colombia transformed from a troubled city into a model of social inclusion by investing in innovative infrastructure like cable cars that connect underserved neighborhoods. They paired this with social programs to break cycles of poverty, proving that resilience is also about people. Meron pa tayong isa dito. Okay. So cities worldwide are leading the way in sustainable urbanization, from Rotterdam's floating homes, this is in West Netherlands, to Singapore's green buildings and Curitiba's transit systems in Brazil. These examples highlight how diverse strategies can improve livability and sustainability across different contexts. Building resilient cities isn't a solo effort. It takes strong leadership, partnerships across government, business, and communities, and a willingness to innovate and learn. When everyone works together, cities can tackle complex challenges and create a better future for all. Smart cities are not just about technology, they're about people. By blending innovation with thoughtful planning and equity, we can build better urban futures for all. So thank you everyone for listening. Kaya pala flag yan para maalala nyo ang Pinas sa Monday. Please vote wisely. Thank you po.
Okay, so thank you so much, no? So, done na po kayong dalawa?
Tatlo kami, Doc. Okay na po kaming
Okay na kayo. Okay. So, again, sabi nga ng presenter, no, it's just not this we make our everyday life easier and safer through innovation, no? But resilience and the smart solution must go hand in hand, no? Uh, a city mall install sensors, no, and AI system, but without a clear disaster recovery plan or inclusive governance, it remains vulnerable, no? Urban resilience is not only about structures and technology, it's about people, no? Barangay level disaster preparedness drills, participatory urban planning session, and inclusive access to services build the foundation of a city that can truly withstand stress. No? A city becomes resilient when both its physical and human system are ready for anything. A key example of this integration is seen in Singapore, no? With a smart traffic system, no? Efficient waste management using sensor-enabled bins, and green infrastructure for flood control. The city-state exemplifies how tech and governance can blend to serve citizens. Closer to home, cities like Iloilo are working toward become smart cities by digitizing services, encouraging walkable urban designs, and preserving cultural heritage in the process. And this effort actually shows that progress doesn't mean sacrificing local identity. It means evolving it, no? So resilient urban governance and smart city initiative should prioritize people dapat, no? Not just infrastructure. Our technology must be inclusive, no? Governance must be participatory, and the development must be sustainable. Because when cities are built with empathy, transparency, and foresight, no? the they become more than hubs of business and technology. They become safe, no, livable, and empowering places for all citizens now and the future generations. No, resilient urban governance is about creating cities that can adapt to challenges, whether they come from natural disaster, economic shock, and public health crisis. As what we discussed earlier, it means preparing communities to not just survive disruption but to bounce back again. Okay, so. Uh, Many Philippine cities face barriers, no, to implementing a smart and resilient solution, including budget limitations, lagi naman yan, outdated infrastructure, lagi naman yan, and fragmented governance. No? So to overcome this, national and local government must collaborate and invest in digital literacy, public-private partnerships, and long-term planning. Let's say, for example, no, funding local innovation hubs or training city staff, no, in GIS and data analytics could empower LGUs to make evidence-based decision. Because, sige, sabi nga natin, no, resilience always means building local capacity to act quickly and wisely when crisis strike. Community engagement, again, is essential. No? Sabi nga ni ma'am, election na. No? Smart City Initiative often fail when they overlook the voices of ordinary citizens. Resilient governance must include the participation of youth groups, no, civil society, and even informal settlers, no, whose first-hand experiences offer valuable insights. For instance, no, mobile apps allowing residents to report hazard, outages, or suggest improvements can bridge the gap between government and citizens. So true resilience is built not just with technology, sabi ni ma'am, but with trust and transparency between those who lead and those they serve. Ano po? Okay, so thank you so much, Presenter.